right, we should be live and ready to go. So I just am so excited to share with you this amazing tool, which is Mindpal. And it is one of the things that it allows you to really create custom tools. So for whatever you need in your workflows. And I know that not everyone is in our school group. So I kind of wanted to share first, like what the power is and how you can, be able to utilize these tools in a way that makes your workflow seamless. The first step I'm going to show you is like the end goal and end picture. And then we'll break down and we'll actually create some tools, hopefully, that would be helpful for everyone today. So I'll start by sharing my screen here. And can you see our community, everyone? Yeah. So in the community that we have, AI Amplified for Entrepreneurs, there is a classroom space. And one of the things is create message with meaning. And this is about like getting your message out. And so I created a tool called the Content Amplifier. And it's actually a combination of base 44 and Mindpal embedded. So if you can think of like Mindpal's the brain and it's doing the work, and then base 44 is just where we're housing everything. And so you can house the tools you create anywhere. They could be on your website, they could be links that you share with people, they could be freebies, whatever you want. But for this particular one that I created, these are embedded tools. So I know that one of the workflows that I think Jana had mentioned she tried out was the blog builder. And so you can come in, you can paste a transcript, and then it's going to go and build out the whole blog, all the assets that you need. And I have this set up so that it's going to actually capture content information like your brand profile, and then it's going to have that and it's going to reference it. So today, we're just going to start simple, and we're going to start at the very basics. So when you first log in, this is what Mindpal is going to look like. And if you are interested, I have a link to get started, and it's free to get started. So I'll pop that in the chat. And then if you're interested, you can totally use that to do a free trial. Now, I think it's like $50 a month to be able to keep this, but what I'm able to do with this is well worth it because you can just create all different kinds of things. So when you click Get Started, it's going to take you to this screen here. And over on the left-hand side, you'll want to pay attention because there's something called agents and something called workflows. And if you can remember it like this, an agent is basically something that you're going to do for a very specific task. And then workflows are going to be like, first do this, then this. And the workflow is actually going to pull in multiple agents. Now, just a couple months ago, you had to build each of these things out separately, but they have a new tool called Mindy, and Mindy can help create all of this. We'll kind of explore that in just a moment, but I'm going to click agents here, and you can see these are some of the different agents that I have created. You can also copy agents from others. So that's an idea. So here, if let's say I wanted to do a LinkedIn viral hook generator, I could start a chat with this and just talk right here. And I could enter some information on, let's say I need 5 viral hooks for my workshop on Mindpal and its uses. So this is like a super specific one, only creating the viral hooks. And then I can pull that in to a workflow in just a moment. So I don't have a transcript, but it's saying here are some of the sample things that I could pick from. The agents, so you might be like, I don't want to have a chat like this. That looks really weird. But what's cool about the agents is that once you create them, you can actually click here and then say publish as a chatbot. And that's where you get an embed code. So if I say publish as a chatbot, it's going to walk me through some different steps. So I want to make this meaningful for you all today. So if you would, if you're watching live on Facebook or if you're here, let's talk a little bit about some example workflows that you have. And if you're wondering, like the difference, I know Sherry, you asked the difference between building this or a micro app on Base 44. You can get really specific on the actual steps that you want to happen. And so, like, maybe first you're going to ask some questions, and then you want the human to respond in a certain way, and then take that information and then do something with it. And so that's why creating agents or workflows would really be more beneficial. So if you would, do any of you have any samples, or do you just want me to make something up? And Sherry and Jana, you're my two live people. So if you have anything,
Exactly. What are you asking for?
if there's anything that you are like, I want to know, I have a workflow. What's something? So let's think again, think about something that you do that you repeat over and over.
I don't know if this would work for Mindpal, but maybe if somebody was ready to take a specific yoga class, because I teach different types of yoga classes. So if they would be a good candidate for that class, I don't know if that goes along with this. I don't know.
So maybe you would create like you're thinking like a freebie, like you want to know, gathering some information about what their needs are first. Then the output would be, this is the specific yoga class that would be good for you.
Oh, okay. I see. So I could use an agent to do something like that, or a
You,
chatbot?
you could, yes, a chatbot would be good for that.
Oh, perfect. Okay. That kind of directs me more, because I was trying to figure out if an app versus this. So it seems like this might work better than an app for that.
Just a simple little questionnaire that it would maybe ask them some questions might be good.
Oh, perfect. Okay. I understand a lot more now. Thank you.
I'm wondering, are you guys doing blogs? Do you have a blog that you're doing?
I do.
Okay, so this is one that I created the other day that I really liked. And basically, if you think of like your, let's say, for example, you have a long Facebook post and you want to translate that into a blog. And thinking about the certain things that we need in a blog. We want it to be SEO optimized. We want the meta description. We want the tags that it's going to use. And we also want to just simply copy and paste. Here's what I'm thinking. Let's model a blog. And yes, John Sherry is live with us. He's asking in the Facebook group. Okay, so what's neat about this is you could just do voice input. So right here, I'm going to just use this. Okay, doesn't like that. Let's try again. It might not like my microphone. Okay, so I want to create a workflow that is going to allow me to upload a transcript or a Facebook post. And then what I would be able to do is have it create all the assets for a blog post. And I need meta description, I need keywords, I would love it to create an image that could go directly on the blog post. So maybe like with the title of the blog post, it has that on there already. And then I also want to be able to quickly copy and paste this over into, let's say, WordPress. And another feature that would be helpful is if you could also create a LinkedIn announcement encouraging people to read this blog post. Now, hope it captured all of that. I'm not thinking that it did. Of course it didn't. Create an image with that post and then a linked in announcement encouraging people to read the post. Now let's see what it comes up with. So basically what I'm doing is chatting with, they call it Mindy, and this is super new and sometimes it's not totally working. So if you click open workflow builder, then it'll take you over here. So the screen that you're looking at is the workflow builder. And so it's actually going to ask you some questions before it starts building. I'll help you build this. Let me start by understanding your requirements better. How would you like to provide the transcript? I will paste the transcript directly. That sounds good. Okay, now for the long content itself, should the workflow create the full blog post, HTML text, or just the assets? I want it to have the content plus all assets so that I can literally copy and paste it. For the AI generated image, what style or format would work best for your brand? I'm going to say professional photography style, but I could add a node where maybe it's going to upload a logo to make sure that's on all of the pictures if I want. So now it's going to say, now let me start building the workflow nodes. So basically you'll see it's doing the actions over here. So like it's saying, and if you want to understand this a little bit, this first one with that human picture, that is the node is a human input. So that means it's going to need something from us as the human first. Then it's going to go to create the blog post content. It's going to generate SEO assets. Then it's going to generate a LinkedIn announcement. It'll generate the blog post image and then a summary of that. And then it's saying the workflow's ready. Here's what it did. It tells me everything and then how to use it. So what I'm going to show you then is when you actually click on each of these nodes, over here on the right-hand side is where you can then edit them if you wanted to manually edit them. So like, for example, transcript or Facebook post. What I can put here is a description. So if I'm creating this for someone else, it might be helpful for them to know what to do. So for example, I could say, upload your transcript here. You can also see that it even allows for file attachments. So if they wanted to upload an audio or video for this one, they could do that. And so then I'll click save. And then I can exit out. And so then each of these, and you can move them. So let's say I wanted to add something manually in between these. I just click the plus sign. Now, when you're first looking at this, it might seem a little overwhelming because like it's kind of a little bit strange to look at, but just know that now that they have Mindy, which is that little AI assistant, you can actually come in here and click this icon and then come back and just tell it what you want it to do. So if you're like, oh, I forgot I needed something here and here, you could just have a conversation in here and tell it what to do. Now for right now, I'm going to go ahead and run this. And again, this looks strange because it's in this weird spot, and I'll show you how we can actually get this in a nicer spot, let's say. But I'm going to use my friend Derek because this is something that I'm actually doing for him. He writes very lengthy Facebook page posts. And I could come over here and grab, of course, everything's running slowly today. Oh, sorry, Lila. Okay, so here is, let's say, a very long post. Now, this format that he writes in would not be an appropriate format for a blog post, right? So what I'm going to do is just copy this and then come back over to my workflow and I'm going to paste that transcript. Okay, and then I'll click continue. So now I've given it the human element, which is I pasted that content, and then it is going to start and just add all the information that we were wanting to learn about and do. So right here it says, okay, this transcript has been, here's the information. And then the next step is to generate the blog post content. And you can see here, it actually created an for me, or it might have pulled one that I've already created called the SEO Blog Builder Agent. And what's really amazing is that it is literally doing all of this work for us behind the scenes. Now, normally it doesn't take quite so long, so hopefully it's going to get going here. Any questions so far? Is this making sense? Okay, so Lynn Rose had a question. She said, does it then not just create it for you, but also go post it? So right now, how this is set up is that it will create the content and I have to copy and paste it, but there are tons of different connections that you can make. So if you're making these for yourself, you can actually connect a million things on the back end, and I'll show you how to do that. Remind me if I forget. Okay, so came up with the title, The 3 Levels of Vulnerability, Why Most Couples Struggle to Truly Connect, and Here's How to Fix It. It gave me the meta descriptions, the SEO keywords. It created a table of contents, and then here's my blog post. And it's already moving on to the next step of generating the image. It does go behind the scenes and does Nano Banana. Oh my goodness, you guys. And I will say sometimes it's a little bit glitchy, and so that's always fun. This is still here. So let's see. And so you can see it's running through each of these steps. These are each of those little nodes that were created. Right here is the image that it created, and then it has a prompt that's connected with it. I'm just breathing because, hello, gotta love technology when you're trying to showcase something. Here's my LinkedIn announcement. So like, why do some couples talk for hours but still end up feeling miles apart? Most of us believe we're just one good conversation away from closeness, but the truth is, blah, blah, blah. To find real closeness, here are the 3 levels. Read the full breakdown here, and then you could enter the link to the blog assets. And then this blows my mind how amazing this is. So literally, you can come in and it will have all of this information in here. And of course, it's not showing the correct way. I'll show you one that I did the other day. Actually, I think this one. And it's a little bit hard to see, so I'll zoom in a bit here. But it has everything just so beautiful. And one of the things that I prompted it with, it even has like book a consultation here. So if I go back, let's say I want to talk to that workflow that I created here because it didn't really complete it the way that I wanted. I'll come back in. You can just click right here. So this is kind of like your workspace where you're building it. If you click here, you can change the title. So I'll say Facebook post to blog. And then one thing I can come in is and say is final output to be ready for a WordPress blog. Could you confirm that the output is going to be presented in that way? Okay, so good catch. It says good catch. Right now, the final output is an HTML summary page, which is helpful, but for WordPress, you need the blog post content in a different way. So we'll say, yes, I just want plain text. And then it's going to ask before it does anything. And so this says, this is like showing me this is the before, and this is what I really wanted. So I'll click apply. And you could see it's kind of highlighting. And then now it's, oh, wait, there's a problem. There's this little bug icon, and it's, wait a second, that needs to be changed. So let's apply that. And this would have taken like hours to go in and re-edit each of these things. Okay, so I'll check for any other bugs, looking good. So let's say run again. And I'm going to try pasting that text and we'll see what happens. And I'm going to check the comments. Okay, does it also do websites and go that deeply into these level of elements so you can add your own pics and videos? I would say this would not be for like creating websites as that helpful of a tool. It's more for like tasks that you're like, I need to do this and this. And I'll model another one that I was thinking was like, you know how we do like calls, sales calls. You could say, so a lot of times what and I'll model this in a second, but we could create a sales call agent that will literally take our sales call, analyze it, and then offer us feedback. Okay, so this is looking good. Table of contents. So do you see how it took that, text that was just in a storytelling format on Facebook, but it's really redoing it in a much higher level capacity, right? So let's see here. Okay, so that's great. It even added a frequently asked questions, which is great for SEO. And then ready to stop walking on eggshells, then click here to learn more about our program. So again, we're going to be driving it back to our website, which is also helping with AEO. Okay, so now we have the full package. Here is the entire thing that I literally am able to just copy and post right over to my WordPress. Now, I'm wondering about that image. Okay, here's my LinkedIn announcement. And it says it's generating a video. So what I'm going to maybe do is go back again to the workflow. And I'm going to talk with it and I'm going to say, okay, for the image, it looks like it is creating a video. Can you help me to create an image only using, we'll say Nano Banana. Okay, and so Lynn Rose, I am just now helping someone to get this set up as well. So here's what the structure I'm going to do and see, look at this. It's, yeah, you're right. This is crazy. So do you already have Nano Banana set up in your Mindpal workspace or do we need to connect it first? So I have not connected this yet. So we can use, we'll skip Nano Banana for now and use Mindpal's built-in one. But there is a place where you can connect different tools. So for example, you could connect your Google Calendar, you could connect Google Drive, all of those things. Okay, so we're going to click apply. And then, so the blog that I'm going to set up is, hold on here, issue, the artifact is still set to video. Let me check what artifact types and fixes. Let me delete this node and recreate it. Totally fine. So it's asking like my permission before it just goes out and does something. Okay, so we'll say add. Okay, so it's going to say based on that. We'll try this and see if that works. And I would not have known how to do all of this. So like it is so smart that it's okay, wait, we need to fix it this way and try this. So it's deleting a node. It's let me try this. Like it's problem solving all of these things for me rather than me having to go in. I mean, literally just a few weeks ago, you had to go in and change and update each of these. So now for this one, because I don't have Nano Banana connected, it's saying copy the prompt, go to Nano Banana and generate your image, which that's fine. We'll try that. Now I'm going to show you, instead of running this the same way, I'm actually going to publish this to show you. So I want you to think of what is your end use for this. If it's for you personally, then using it right here is totally fine. But if you're wanting to embed the tool somewhere so that other people can use it, you probably want to publish it. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. If you click publish, and then you'll click publish as an AI powered form. So now what I can do is give this link to anyone and they can use this workflow. And I'll show you how that looks. Okay, so right now it's saying Facebook post to blog, upload your transcript, and then continue. And that's fine. But if I wanted to personalize that a little bit, right here, it says customize appearance and settings. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to set up the identity. You can change the name, and then we'll call this the Facebook post repurposer to blog. I don't know. You can put a description in. You can customize the interface. So if you want to upload let's say you're making multiple ones of these and you want to do a logo, for example, you can put that in there. You can even customize the color of this. So if you wanted to grab your brand colors, you could just come in here, grab the color code, change that. If you wanted to put, a picture of you or something, you could do that. So there we go. So now it's got my color. Now you can also turn the Mindpal badge off. I like leaving it there because I have an affiliate code. So, I can share that with people. I am going to share that code with you now. If anyone is thinking about trying this out, I'll put that in the chat and also on Facebook. And then what's also nice is if you want, you can actually personalize it so much so in here. And this is like a little bit fancier and you don't have to do that, but you can change the public URL. So maybe I just want it to be Angelina Mindpal blog. So now that's the URL that I would share with people if they wanted to do that. You can also, and this is a little bit more advanced and I'm not going to get into it on this training, but for the example that I showed where I had created an app and embedded each of these tools in the app, you can actually make it so that they have to fill out some information first. And so they have to show that they're a user, and then you can connect custom session data. But that's a little bit more advanced. We could get into that later if you want. And then I'll click Save Changes. And now look at that. It changed the link that I'm going to share. So I can open that link and look how pretty that looks. Much better. I'm going to see if I have my paste. Whoop. Okay.
Wow, that looks so nice.
Right?
Yeah.
And I'll also say that you could, if you wanted to, you could embed these tools. And I'll show you where to do that. For example, if you have, courses, let's say on GHL or somewhere, you could certainly embed those there. Now, one thing that I will say, because I know I'm thinking I'm going to look at what Joy is saying in the comments, but this reminds me a lot of N8N and some of the things that you could do with those tools. That is not my specialty at all. And so this to me is a way that you can do some of those things, with workflows, and it's just a little bit simpler.
That's what I was thinking. This looks just a little bit easier, for
Yeah.
something simple.
Yes. And, I know some, Lynn Rose was asking, okay, so is this different from a custom GPT? And I would say that if you have custom GPTs built, and I know a lot of us definitely do, one of the things that people want to do is monetize those, right? So what you could come in and do is build a custom, like an agent, and build on the back end all of those things. And I can show how to do that as well. So let's check this out and see if it got our image right yet. So there's my SEO assets, my LinkedIn. Okay, so it's giving me a prompt that I have no idea what this prompt is going to be like, but let's
That is
try
so
it.
cool. I'm sorry, I just have to say it.
Tell us what you're thinking, Jana.
I just being able to make an image too would just make it so fast.
Yes, I
It
know.
is, there's a lot of steps to writing a blog.
So I want you also to be thinking, because okay, well, I forgot what we were doing. I was like, that's a strange topic, but it's because it's relationship repair. That was our blog. So how awesome is that? Now I could also in here tell this, can you create an image for a blog post with the size I need for WordPress? And yes, it is so much easier than N8N. I mean, it's really kind of crazy. Okay. It's not really listening, but you get the general gist of how we could work on that. Okay, so now that we have kind of like a little bit of an understanding, one last thing I'll show you. Once you publish your workflow, when you go here, there's an embed code. And what's cool about this is right here, it'll connect to base 44. Joya, I know you've been talking a lot about Notion, high level. So you get the code that you want, and then you can just copy and paste that, and it'll go right on over, and the formatting will look beautiful. And I know some of you are just joining us, but I do want to share this was the app that I created. And so these are sample ones. So this that you're looking at is actually just one single agent. So I'm going to say it's hi, I'm your Instagram carousel content creator. Paste your transcript or long form here to get started. So I'm going to do the same thing. Nope, that's the wrong one. I'm going to grab that transcript again. Poor Derek's going to be like, why are you showing all of my posts here? But let's see what this comes up with. You could even probably customize it to be more specific, but it's going to create slides. Like these would be the topics that you would create for your slides. And then you could go over and just copy that. I don't know, Jana, if you want to share what
I
you
used
did.
it yesterday, excuse me, and I wasn't even super specific, and it still was like spot on with the slides and everything it said. I had uploaded my company guide and everything, so it knew everything about me, but it's still, I mean, you can give it as much as you want. And like even for one blog, I just kind of gave it a concept and an idea, and it came out great.
Yes. And rather than giving it a big, huge post, just a
Now, one
small
I
bit of,
did give it a lot of information, a huge transcript thing, but and then I tried it just with a concept, and it worked both ways really well.
and I just want to show, so I know some of you might be like, what in the world are we looking at with this content amplifier? So this is one of the tools. We have this school community and it's in the classroom under the content amplifier, and it's an app that I created. And so basically you come in here, and I will say Molly Mahoney has inspired me. I'm in her group. She's absolutely amazing. I know a lot of you are in the community with her, but I wanted to create something that was really simple for like my workflows and what I do. So basically you upload your company details, and then once you do that, so this is what I created. This part was created in base 44. And so when the user comes in, they enter their company offerings, their ideal client, their brand voice, their buying beliefs, where they're going to post. And then when you click save profile, now this is the part that I was like, that's a little bit too advanced for today, but I connected each of these tools back over on Mindpal. I set up integration so that it's going to pull from this information. So what Jana was saying is like, she doesn't have to tell it all that context. It's going to save it all. And so then these tools will come in here. So like the content brainstormer, it knows exactly my brand profile, and it can help me to come up with some ideas. It's going to ask a few questions. So what are you promoting this month? And I'll say Valentine's Day and love of my business. I want to, here's me thinking, let's actually do something I'm going to use. So I want to offer a workshop next week on falling in love with your business systems. Thinking about, and there's also, this is super nice. There's a little icon. It'll look, okay. Thinking about, let's try it one more time. Thinking about your business and all of the amazing tools that you can offer when you have organized systems. So falling in love with your business related to Valentine's Day. I keep pushing stop before it's, and I'll say, I want to offer a workshop on this next week. And so this is going to give me some, so I've programmed the content brainstormer, and I'll show you that on the back end. And this is straight from Molly. She talks about these buying beliefs. And so then I could copy and paste that, any of those that I love, and then come over here and start creating content about it. So let's go back
Can I
to,
say something about
yes,
this
please.
part right here? When I created this, I even asked it to write me a video script for one of those, like for a reel. It did that for me also.
Love it. So you did it right here in this brainstormer.
I said, hey, I like number 2. Could you
I
do
love that.
a 60-second video reel script for that? And it did it.
So
I put through its paces.
let's actually do that. We're going to make a workflow. That's a great workflow, actually. Let me see. Okay, so let's make a workflow. We're going to start fresh again. So in case you're just jumping on the call, agents are specialized one agent at a time, but a workflow is like things that we do in our business that take us time. Because if you think about it, you move from task to task. First, I'm over here brainstorming about the video I'm going to create. Then I have to create the video. Then I have to go over here to post it. Then I have to post it on YouTube and come up with these things. And then I have to create a Facebook post. So if you could, and I'm thinking a little tip is go old school and just write it on a piece of paper. What are all the things that you do within a step that will help you and really be meaningful for you? So let's do that workflow now. So I'm going to click new, and I'm going to say new workflow, and I'm going to chat with Mindy about it. Okay. Okay, I want to create a workflow where the user is going to upload a simple concept and then they want to be able to repurpose that in multiple ways. The first thing that we want to do is have it create a short 60 to 90-second script for YouTube. Then I want it to take that script and concept and create a description for YouTube. I want it to have an SEO optimized title, what tags I should include on my video. Then I want it to create a Facebook post around that same concept. Then I want it to create a LinkedIn post around that same concept. And then I want it to create 5 to 7 slides for Instagram around that concept. It keeps cutting me off for some reason. And then did it get it a LinkedIn? And then I want to create 5 to 7 slide ideas for Instagram. Okay, so remember it's going to ask a couple of questions and it's thinking about the configuration and we'll say add, that's correct. And it's going to it's looking for agents that I previously have created. Which assistant would you like me to use? We'll say, I don't actually know which one this is, but we'll add that one there and see what happens. Then I can add that. Now it's putting the YouTube script generator there. And again, it's scanning and finding some resources.
So you would already have to have something like
You
the
don't.
script
You
generator?
don't.
Okay.
It will do it itself. Okay, that's faster. That question was, should I put these all into one step or make multiple steps? So it's actually going to see how it just made an agent for me. And it says how it's going to connect. And it's going to say, based on a YouTube script provided, generate the data. Okay. And now it's going to do the Facebook post one and add for LinkedIn. And see, I've already created some of these, so it doesn't have to make new ones. Now, Lynn and Rose was asking, like, could you just, so like, I don't have Nano Banana set up, but there are integrations where you can have it set up and it will generate the images for you. Okay, it's going so fast, I can't keep track of it all. Okay, and then that's perfect. Do we need a content repurposing? Okay, that's fine. How would you like the workflow to execute the social media post? It can run sequentially. And it takes a little while to set this up, but think about the time that you're going to save, by trying this sequence. It's even finding the bugs. And it's going to say, okay, now I have to fix that. I cannot believe this Mindy tool that they've added is just so powerful.
I feel like it's doing it pretty quickly.
It is amazing. And imagine some of the other tools that you use, N8N or Make. Sometimes you have to go in and I know they have AI features too. And like I said, I haven't extensively used them. Okay, let's see. It looks like there's a bug there. So I'm going to say, can you fix the bug? And then now it's going to recreate it because we still need that human element to start it. You can also add nodes in between here that are like human checks. So for example, this is going to just go da 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 and have them all, but I could pause it here and add a node for the user to approve, the workflow before we get there. And that way it doesn't just go rogue and start creating all the assets, because you might not like the script that it gave. So you could totally, adjust that as well. Does that make sense? Like in between here, you could say pause, ask for human permission. Must have missed one here. Apply and apply. There is a feature. I just watched a video about it today, and Jennifer, you may know where this is, but that it would auto approve everything. Do you know? I don't know if you know where that's at, rather than me having to click apply each time. I'll have to watch that video and figure out where it is, because I know she said that you could do that. Okay. Oh my gosh, it's going to ask for every single one of these again. Okay, so this is kind of a long workflow. That's okay. In thinking about other workflows, things that you do that may take time, has this inspired any other new ideas that would be good to share with anything? Okay, so yes, Lynn Rose is asking, what's the difference between Mindpal and Base 44? And I hope that I'm not confusing anyone by kind of showing that back and forth. But Base 44 is going to be where you would take these creations and put them. So these are the tools that we're using in Base 44. And you don't have to use these in order to use Base 44. And likewise, you don't have to use Mindpal and Base 44 together, if that makes sense. Okay, I'm going to see what this is. And
Piece 44 is just like the house that holds these, right?
yes.
That's the way it is.
Okay, tone and style. There we go. That's the problem. So it has us picking something, but I didn't put any choices in here, although there's choices there. So I'm really not sure. I'm just going to delete this label and see if that will help us to move forward. But this is good to see, right? Problem solving when things don't work correctly. Oh, for crying out loud. So I'm going to manually come in here and show you what this looks like. So basically we said these are the upload details. And then right here, it's referencing the tone and style. So I'm just going to delete that. See, those are the instructions, and then click save. And that bug should go away. Tone and style. All right, we'll try this one more time. Please fix the bugs. Now, I will say normally I don't get bugs. This is kind of maybe an interesting thing
What is
to
it that
keep.
it's not liking? What?
I'm not really sure because I'm not taking the time to read what it's saying. But it's definitely not like something we'll say apply. All right, now we're in business. Okay, so My workflow is good. There's no bugs. So let's go ahead and run this. Okay, so the concept I'm going to do is highlight a workshop I am teaching next week on loving your business and how you can use AI to create systems and structures to help you work faster. I am going to share an amazing app I created. You guys are going to just be so excited when I share this app on a dashboard, an entrepreneur, you get the idea, dashboard to store all biz assets. My spelling is terrible. We're not going to worry about that. It's my AI community, coaches, and fellow entrepreneurs. Tone, style, and preference, fun and casual. And then key talking points, just want to highlight the magic of using AI to help. We had a discussion about the ADHD brain this week in the school community and how, many of the members had taken Jonathan Mass' recent class and how, that was just so impactful. And it got me thinking, like, there are just so many ways we could be using AI to structure, our business. It takes those tools. Now that you might be like, oh my gosh, Angie, we could have just made the darn 90-second video by now. Yeah, for sure. 100%. However, you're going to design these tools and you're going to keep using them over and over. And so that's why thinking of yourself as the end user, you have to create a space where you store these tools. So I'm thinking, and I know like these are some topics we've all been, working on, but even if you made a dashboard just for yourself and you put in all of your tools and then you come in super easy, right? Okay, so now let me tell you, you could also, and I'm not going to get into this, but you could also take these if you didn't want to make the video yourself, and you could paste those in to like Google Gemini, or some of us have been playing with GenSpark, and it could take that text and make a video for you. Okay, so here's the summary. If I wanted to put this on YouTube, it's got that there with a little timestamp, some recommended tags, Facebook post generator. Does running your business feel like herding caffeinated cats? That's awesome. I love it. And then it's going to give you all of those assets right here. Oh my gosh. And then this is fun too. You could even create your visuals. You could create the visuals with Gemini even and just have the slides, be in there. So then here's the whole kit and caboodle. Here's everything.
So I could
Oh,
take that script or the slides, and in Gemini and say, make the images for this
yeah,
using based
right
on
here.
this.
Let's watch this. I'm going to start a new chat. And I mean, thinking about your end game for this particular example, oh my gosh, I love it. So I think actually I saw where I'm not sure who maybe Shannon had done this, but you could come in and create these images because it's giving me this. I'm getting confused where I'm working here. There we go. Now I could give it much more specific instructions because these are kind of looking cartoony. So if I didn't like those, then certainly I could, you know, give it more instruction on what I'm creating. And it keeps going with this stop hurting caffeinated cats because I'm in the same area here. So it's thinking that I'm wanting to do new iterations. So I'm not doing a good job with my prompting. But you could then pull these clips into VO. Or now I could say, let's say I'm going to do this one. And I'm going to upload that image. I'm sorry, we're getting way off track here, but it's so fun to see all the different things that you can do. So let's say, can you animate this image with sound? And then within seconds, I now have, so you could, so I would say it would be great if now, you know, you have that, and then you're going to create multiple pieces of content around that same concept and be able to repurpose it. So it's going to create a little video here. Lynn Rose, what article do you need? Oh, the article that it created. I love it. Okay. Like the blog post. Okay, so it'll come back. Let me ask if there's any questions and see what people, if you had ideas that you were inspired by or something that you wanted to ask about, or if something was unclear. Feel free to unmute yourself. Any
I
inspiration?
just had an idea. I'd like to create a workflow to create just for myself to create like the scripts or the captions and the image because I don't have anything like that. That's awesome.
Yes. And okay, I'm going to show you one that I have that I love. Okay, let's see what this comes up. Oh my gosh, that is hysterical.
Funny.
I'm totally going to use that. So later when you see it, you could comment and laugh on how funny it is. But that's fun. I do not have a creative brain like that. I never would have thought to come up with a design like that or anything. So it just gives you the inspiration to try some new things. One of them that I really do use very often is a workflow that I created that is, let's see if this is it. Nope. So I have where I do my podcast and I take the transcript from the podcast, pop it in there, and then it creates all of those assets for me. And that's super helpful. So again, it'll create the blog post, the YouTube, all of that good stuff. And then let's see. I'm trying to look at some of the other ones that I've created just to see if there were any that, oh, a newsletter. So Molly Mahoney had shared like kind of her workflow that she used. And this is one that I love. So the user input, I designed it to where, and actually this is hers. This is her newsletter one, but I'll go back and show the one I took what she had created and then made this specifically for my business. And so you come in here And I wanted mine to be like, okay, here's the weekly training topic of the week, AI tip of the week, podcast topic for the week, and then my brand voice document. So let me show you how awesome this is. So on the user end, and I have it published so it looks nicer as a link, I can come in here. And so my workshop next week, creating your AI assistant. And then the topic is Mindpal workflows. I'll share the video. I could even pop the link in after I have the video. Tip of the week is use AI for your systems. And I could reference if I have Facebook posts, I could put the link in here. And then here is the link to my podcast. And then I upload, let's say, my business document details, wherever that is here, and it has my name. You can also create something called knowledge files. That'll be the last tip. I'll let this run and then we'll come back to it. For example, in this workflow here, or even here, draft newsletter structure, it's using something called the basic writing assistant. I can come in, and again, this is a single agent, but I can add knowledge and memory to this agent. So if I wanted to add my business document here, I could do that so that it has all of that background knowledge. So that's just something pretty cool to remember if you wanted to kind of program them if you're using them just for yourself so that you don't have to keep adding that. Okay, so now look how nice this is. This is my email. That duct tape system is costing you more than you think. You probably feel like you're the bottleneck in your own business today. Blah, blah, blah. The workflow shift. I'm sharing a new video on Mindpal workflows to show you how to stop the manual firefighting. We're looking at the gap between your big ideas, build your digital partner. If you're ready to stop doing it all alone, I'm doing a workshop next week on creating your AI assistant. Here's your weekly win. And again, I could put a reference to my Facebook on the mic. And again, it doesn't have any information there because I didn't really upload it, but let's simplify. And then it knows to sign it by my name. And then here's the actual copy and paste with the links. What? So literally, there's your newsletter, done, seconds. And the key is designing that agent how you speak. And if you are like, that is way too wordy for my email, then you could say, I just want it to be choppy little sentences. And then you do a couple of runs and you're like, is that working? Great. If not, you edit it. And again, you can use Mindy to do all that. Okay, so that was a lot of information. I am going to say that I will. So now this is one of my workflows that I do. I take the content. What I'm going to do is take this video, I'm going to grab the transcript, and I'm going to upload that to my blog post creator. And it's going to create a beautiful blog post for me. Then at the bottom, I'll put the link to this video that I put on YouTube. Okay, so it's kind of like coming up with a system and your ecosystem and thinking, because our brains don't have time to think about these over and over. So, like for me, I decided that Thursday's going to be my day to go live. Now, you might say, why are you doing this for free? Because I'm sharing my knowledge and then it's going to be repurposed into multiple assets that I can then share on social media. So now I'm going to upload it on YouTube. People can watch it that way, and I'll put links to the different things. The video will also be on the blog post, and then the blog post leads them back to my website. So it's really about building in systems so that, because that sounds a lot, but it's really simple to help you once you have those pieces in place. And I'm just going to share again that is exactly what we teach in my school community that we're in. And I know that there's several people on here that are in it. And it's a small but mighty group. And we are sharing tips like this. And every week we get together for an hour and any of the things. And I know, Lacey, I'm so excited, just joined today. But I mean, for $30 a month, it's like a dinner. And, you could get that taken care of for that price. So let me check in. Okay, so it is recorded. So yes, I will share that like I just said. The plan that I'm doing right now is I think I pay $49 a month. I will tell you they have an affiliate program so you can share the link with as many people as you want, like I just did. Who knows if anyone signs up, but that's perfect. Then you could use these in a multitude of ways. So you could use them as a lead generator. So there's even a way that you can add in there for users to add their email when they start. Perfect. So now all you have to do, you could send this in DMs. So maybe you're going to make an email flow and you're like, who wants my cool tool that I created? Send it to them in their DM and then have it collect their email and let them know that, that's part of it. And then let's see what else. So the best way to dump everything we do into Mindpal and parse out how we can systemize our craziness for sure. Okay, so here's one thing I think that would be helpful is, even using, because I've been thinking about this too. I'm just like everyone else. I've been feeling super overwhelmed because there's so many things to do. And I'm like, I need a better system. You know, even if you wanted to just go to ChatGPT and list out like here, even a screenshot of your calendar or all the different projects, like just dump it out. I was even thinking of creating a tool for that. Here's my brain dump of all the things that I have going. Help me to parse it out into to-do lists. It could be something as simple as that. But yes, all of these things are topics that we cover in school. So thanks for the kind words, ladies. All right, let's see. Any closing comments? I think we're pretty good. And then Lynn Rose, if you want, I'll be happy to reply on some of your comments because I'm not sure if I got them all, but amazing. So thanks everybody for joining today. I hope you have a fabulous weekend and let me know if you need anything. Bye.